Karl Vaino was born on May 28, 1923, in the city of Tomsk in the Russian Soviet Federative Socialist Republic within the newly formed Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. He was born to Bolshevik parents Genrikh Vaino, born Heinrich, who died in 1965, having moved from Estonia in 1918, and Lydia Savi, the daughter of Estonian immigrants who had settled in Siberia at the beginning of the 20th century. Vaino's father, Heinrich, had fled to the Soviet Union after the Bolsheviks were defeated in the 1918–1920 Estonian War of Independence. Upon graduating from what is now the Omsk State Transport University in 1947, Vaino worked in engineering and technical jobs on railways in the Estonian Soviet Republic. He joined the Communist Party of the Soviet Union the same year, serving as secretary of the Tallinn Regional Committee from 1948 to 1953. In the 1960s and 1970s, he served as secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Estonia and graduated from the Correspondence Higher Party School in 1957. Having lived his early life in Russia, Vaino didn't speak Estonian very well, and spoke it with a thick Russian accent. On the 26th of July 1978, the first secretary for the previous 28 years, Johannes Karbin, who was considered to be too moderate for the era of stagnation's Russification process, was forced to resign from his post and was replaced by Vaino. As the first secretary, Vaino acquired a reputation of being an extreme Russificator. With a dismissive attitude towards Estonian language and culture, he was not popular amongst the Estonian population, so much so that in 1979, an unsuccessful attempt was made on his life. He delivered public speeches mostly in Russian, one notable exception being at the 350th anniversary of Tartu State University in 1982, where he presented awards to university workers, speaking in Estonian with a very thick Russian accent. In 1988, the Estonian Communist Party split into National Communists and Internationalists, and Vaino was the leader of the Internationalists, while the National Communists were led by then-Soviet ambassador to Nicaragua Vaino Valias. Being considered too conservative by the Moscow leadership, Vaino was forced to resign from his post on June 16, 1988, and replaced by Valias. Vaino then moved to Moscow, where he lived for the rest of his life. He never returned to Estonia. His daughter Eleonora Kostova is the daughter-in-law of Soviet writer Vsevolod Kostov, and his son Edward is the vice president for external relations at the company Avtovaz. He has two grandsons, the Russian politician Anton Vaino, and Kremlin chief of staff Andrei Vaino. On Saturday, February 12, 2022, Vaino died in Moscow at the age of 98. He was buried on February 14, the same week.